Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I will be playing one of the forgotten junglers in the current meta, Ling. Just a disclaimer, I am not as mechanically gifted as the pro Ling players like Levi and Zebra, so don't expect fast hand combos or flashy plays. Anyways, I remember when Ling was one of the most contested heroes in the MPL and high rank lobbies. A couple seasons back, he was a feared assassin as Ling can easily dive the backline and clean up fights using his ultimate. However, he has seemed to have fallen off the meta. So, in this video, I would like to discuss why this might be so. Anyways, right now, I'm starting with the red buff. Normally, I like to start with buffs in the turtle lane because they will usually respawn when the turtle spawns. This will allow me to reach level 5 before the turtle fight, which can be the difference maker between taking or losing the objective. I thought the Franco was going to hook my buff away, but Cyclops did a great job at zoning him away. Nice first blood from our team. Saber probably thought he could kill our Cyclops since he was pretty low on HP. However, we have a high-lows this game, which deals a lot of damage even from the early game. Saber's death should allow us to gain momentum and have a greater farm gap. Although the enemies are pretty overextended in this case, I can't really do much here as Ling only reaches his power spike when he gets his ultimate. This brings me to my first point, which is Ling's weak early game. Compared to meta junglers who can be active from the early game such as Fanny and Lancelot, Ling is an item-dependent hero. To add on, his jungle clear speed is quite slow. This leaves him very vulnerable to invades, which is even more prevalent right now due to the Roam Blessing revamp. So, if the enemy roamer is someone like Hilda who is constantly disturbing your farm, playing Ling would be a nightmare if you don't have your team to prevent you from getting invaded. I remember when Ling was a popular pick a couple seasons ago. However, due to the onslaught of nerfs he has gotten, he has certainly fallen off. Initially, I was planning to gank the Obsidia. However, seeing that Franco was by her side and that she is under her tower, I've decided to rotate to the turtle and see if I could secure it. Also, Saber and Chang'e have both used their ultimates. Seeing Hylos is rotating to my direction, I wanted to invade the enemy purple buff since Saber can't one-shot me anymore. My ultimate could use some work. I have yet to learn how to precast my second skill during my ultimate, which I think is a really beneficial tech for Ling users to learn. Also, my retribution is on cooldown, so I was a little hesitant to start the turtle. Let's take the red buff to widen the farm gap. Right here, I'm trying to lure the enemies into a turtle fight. I just have to keep my distance from Franco and Saber, as both of them can easily stun lock me. Saber just used his ultimate. This is my green light to play more aggressively. Poor Cyclops, he is really eating up the enemy ultimates. Anyways, we got the turtle and the enemy jungler from this fight, so I guess it was a worthy sacrifice. Back to our discussion, another point that I want to bring up is Ling's long ultimate cooldown. While yes, I understand that his ultimate is a really valuable and versatile skill since it brings both offensive and defensive capabilities, Ling's damage output heavily relies on it. In the early game, his ultimate has a shockingly long cooldown at 52 seconds. So if there's a scenario where your ultimate was forced out or used at a bad timing, Ling will most likely be inactive for the next minute. To add on, since the meta favors tanky hero lineups, it is also more difficult for Ling to secure kills. Here, I forgot to take into account Obsidia's ultimate, which removes all of my mobility and makes me a sitting duck. Thankfully, our Hylos had Revitalize, which saved my life. Anyways, I'm not saying Ling is a bad hero. After all, Ling, like many other assassins, is one that demands high levels of mechanical skill to be able to perform. Instead, he had just gone from one of the meta's staple junglers to a more situational pick. Ling still shines when the enemy team lacks hard CC skills. Depending on the enemy team comp, if they do not have multiple early game heroes, especially the roamer and mid laner, Ling can farm safely and get his core items and hence essential power spikes. In this game, I've decided to go with Ling since Obsidia and Chang'e can be fairly easy to target. You just have to keep an eye out for Franco and Saber to use their hard CC skills before you engage. Seems like there is a fight in the mid-bush. I'm not sure why Saber used his ultimate on Hylos, but that was probably a desperate attempt since he was caught out of position. Wow, Cyclops' ultimate cooldown is extremely short. In my opinion, he can be an underrated mage. I've watched videos from Vitoski destroying enemies using him.
Understood. One sword reflects one's thoughts. You can't evade me.
Forgive me for what you all are about to witness next. I was definitely playing on autopilot, which is why I decided to ult the tank. My trolling got us killed. But honestly, I thought the game was quite one-sided, so anything to make the game more interesting. Right. Anyways, here's the real question. Should Moonton buff Ling? Well, in my opinion, it is a tricky question to answer. Historically speaking, Ling can be overpowered even if he is just slightly overtuned. His burst damage can be a nightmare, and when combined with his extreme mobility, skilled players can abuse him often. High mobility heroes like Fanny and Harriet have always been hard to balance. One single buff can make these heroes a pain to deal with in pro play or high rank lobbies. On the flip side, Ling's current risk to reward ratio might be slightly off. His early game jungle tempo is relatively slow compared to meta junglers. Moreover, his late game scaling has gotten worse with the recent nerfs to his physical attack growth and critical damage. To add on, the recent map modifiers, namely Broken Walls and Dangerous Grass, have certainly contributed to Ling's downfall. Broken Walls made it more difficult for Ling to use his first skill and disrupted the muscle memory that some seasoned Ling users might have when it comes to hopping around walls. Furthermore, Dangerous Grass made Ling more susceptible to ambushes. Therefore, while some people might think he is a fairly balanced hero who can be strong in the right hands, others might think that the recent patch notes have taken a toll on Ling's usability. So, if Moonton were to buff him, a more conservative balancing approach would be preferred. Maybe Moonton can increase his skill 2's damage to jungle creeps, or slightly reduce his ultimate cooldown so that Ling can be a more forgiving pick as a jungler. I certainly don't want Ling to be reverted to his old self. Instead, some small tweaks would be preferred so that he is playable again without terrorizing ranked or pro play. Anyways, what do you guys think about Ling? Is he still a viable pick? Or has he fallen off the meta and is replaced by other junglers? Do you think Moonton should bring him back, or is he better left as a high-skill niche pick? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Right now, we are quite ahead, so let's take the Lord and possibly end the game. Here, I'm keeping my distance from Franco to prevent myself from getting suppressed. Also on the mini-map, I saw Saber use his ultimate. When Franco uses his ultimate, I should be able to freely engage. I'm not afraid of getting ulted by Obsidia right now since she is pretty underfarmed. Let me try to lure her closer to my team. GG's. I acknowledge that this was not the best of Ling gameplays out there. However, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. Love y'all guys and see y'all in my next video.